Hi guys, welcome back to Sweetie Pie Pets. I know all of you have been anxiously awaiting the update on Margo. Margo, are you a mommy? So let's talk about Margo and her baby. So Margo had her baby last Wednesday the 16th. We had reverse progesterone tests done by the doctor, which tells us exactly when she's ready, when the baby's all done baking. The 16th, she was all ready and she had her little sweetie pie. Now, unfortunately, he has really struggled to thrive. I've been doing it for 19 years now and it has brought me a lot of joy, but not all of it is roses and peaches. Is that a term? Sometimes a puppy doesn't thrive, and sometimes you lose puppies. Now, we haven't lost Margo's little boy yet. We still have him, and I'm really hoping that he'll make it. He's already 4 days old, but he really struggled to learn how to nurse. And it's interesting how similar sometimes a puppy can be to just a human having a baby. Sometimes babies pick up on nursing just fine, and other times they really struggle to learn how to nurse, which I had that problem with my son when he was born. He just really struggled to learn how to nurse, and it took a lot of time and frustration and, a lot of figuring out, and eventually he got it. So we're doing the same thing with Margo's little baby. I have to set my alarm every night. I sleep for an hour and a half at a time, and then I set my alarm, goes off, get up, and I have to feed the baby. So he is able to nurse off mommy Margo, but he needs help. He needs assistance. I've got to kind of get everything situated just right. And then I, let him eat for about 45 minutes, go back to sleep for another hour and a half, get back up and do it all over again. That's what we've been doing all night, every night for 4 nights in a row. And then during the day, we do it every hour. He eats once an hour. So we're still hopeful. Like I said, I'm still really hoping he'll pull through. And if you guys, please, if you pray. If you send positive vibes out into the universe, please send positive vibes out into the universe for the little boy, because I'm really hoping that he will make it. Margo. So Margo has proven to be a very good mommy. The very first day, since she was a new mommy, she kind of didn't know what to do, and she was a little bit not sure of him, which isn't uncommon for a first-time mommy. Sometimes it doesn't come naturally. So she was kind of not wanting him around, but I was there to help her, and eventually she decided that she loves being a mommy, and now she's being very protective and cleaning him and taking good care of him. And she's doing really well. I'm super proud of her. She didn't do anything wrong, and she's a good mommy. So since she was a little bit confused the very first day, and I didn't want the puppy to miss out on that very essential time that he needs with his mommy, he needs to be licked clean and he needs to be kept warm and cuddled up to him. And she wasn't really sure about him at first. So I actually brought in her mommy, Raina, and Raina was so excited to help out. She's a first-time grandma, and she absolutely just adopted him and, cleaned him and kept him warm and comfortable the whole time. It was wonderful. So that was the very first night. But then by the second morning, Margo didn't want Raina around, and she said, "Give me back my puppy." So I had to put Raina back outside of the crate, and she's been a little bit sad, but I let her have visitation. So as I mentioned, breeding isn't always just peaches and pie. Different term. So as I mentioned, breeding isn't always just peaches and cream. There are definitely the sad moments and the difficult times. Did you guys know that the mortality rate for puppies is 30%, which is pretty high? Trying to facilitate life, and you're so excited, and there's so much buildup, and then the puppy's born. So that's not a super low number. I mean, it does happen that you lose puppies, and it's a very sad and difficult thing to do. No matter how much lack of sleep you have, sometimes there's nothing you can do. The puppy just won't make it. And the name for this is called fading puppy syndrome. It's not really any kind of a special diagnosis other than the puppy just failed to thrive. Sometimes it has to do with how much they eat or the lack thereof. Sometimes it just has to do with development, how their lungs are developed, and if they're breathing correctly. There's a lot of different factors involved, and sometimes they just don't know why. They just don't make it. So as I said, we're still hoping that he will make it. I'm going to keep giving it my all. Tonight's going to be the 5th night of sleepless rest. And you know what? I don't care. I'm going to keep on trying and hope that he comes out of it. So the things that I'm going to be looking for to see if he starts to thrive is him being able to latch on to mommy on his own. So as I mentioned, he is struggling to learn how to nurse, And he can do it. He has plenty of suction, but I have to help him get up there to the nipple, and I have to hold him on there because he doesn't have enough suction power to hold himself in place. So I'm hoping that within the next couple of days, he'll be able to start nursing on his own without my help, which will be super helpful because then that means I don't have to be right there all the time constantly for every single feeding. He can just start eating on his own. Another thing I want to watch for is him crawling to his mommy for warmth, because when the puppy's not thriving, oftentimes you will find that puppy off by themselves, away from their litter mates if they have any, and their mom. And I have definitely found him off by himself multiple times, and I have to put him back over by his mommy. So I'm hoping that he, starts thriving enough that he can actually crawl over to his mommy as opposed to crawling away. And another thing that I'm looking for is for his limbs to start really working. So right now I can get him to suckle long enough that his little belly gets nice and fat and round, and that's good. But it's not really enough yet that he's actually started to thrive and his muscles are all working together. So his limbs are still very frail and kind of not really being used that much. So a newborn puppy that is struggling to thrive cannot maintain its own body temperature. So another thing I have to do is make sure that he stays warm all the time. So I set up a little heating pad inside of his little den area, and I keep that on warm so that he stays nice and warm, even if he's not cuddled up next to mommy. And that's where he is right now. Margo, you want to go back and see your baby? So thank you guys so much for watching. I feel really upset that I don't have better news for you, but I'm still very, very hopeful that he's going to come out of it, and by tomorrow he's going to start to thrive. So please keep your fingers crossed for him and put some positive thoughts out there into the universe for that sweet little boy, and help me come up with a name for him. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope I have a better update for you next week. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time on Sweetie Pie Pets. Bye-bye. Margo, say bye-bye.